Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in part number 17 in Surah 2, chapter Al-Baqara, Surah 2 of the Quran, and we are busy with part 17, the English reading of the Quran by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. Right, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. A divorce is only permissible twice. After that, the parties should either hold together on equitable terms or separate with kindness. It is not lawful for you men to take back any of your gifts from your wives, except when both parties fear that they would be unable to keep the limits ordained by God. If you judges do indeed fear that they would be unable to keep the limits ordained by God, there is no blame on either of them if she gives something for her freedom. These are the limits ordained by God, so do not transgress them. If any do transgress the limits ordained by God, such persons wrong themselves as well as others. So, if a husband divorces his wife irrevocably, he cannot after that remarry her until after she has married another husband and he has divorced her. In that case, there is no blame on either of them if they reunite, provided they feel that they can keep the limits ordained by God. Such are the limits ordained by God, which He makes plain to those who understand. When you divorce women and they fulfill the term of their iddat, either take them back on equitable terms or set them free on equitable terms, but do not take them back to injure them or to take undue advantage. If anyone does that, he wrongs his own soul. Do not treat God's signs as a jest, but solemnly rehearse God's favors on you and in the fact that He sent down to you the book and the wisdom for your instruction. And fear God and know that God is well acquainted with all things. When you divorce women and they fulfill the term of their iddat, do not prevent them from marrying their former husbands if they mutually agree on equitable terms. This instruction is for all amongst you who believe in God and the last day. That is the course making for most virtue and purity amongst you, for God knows and you know not. The mothers shall give suck to their offspring for 2 whole years, if the father desires to complete the term, but he shall bear the cost of their food and clothing on equitable terms. No soul shall have a burden laid on it greater than it can bear. No mother shall be treated unfairly on account of her child, no father on account of his child. An heir shall be chargeable in the same way if they both decide on weaning by mutual consent, and after due consultation. There is no blame on them if you decide on a foster mother for your offspring. There is no blame on you, provided you pay the mother what you offered on equitable terms. But fear God and know that God sees well what you do. If any of you die and leave widows behind, they shall wait concerning themselves 4 months and 10 days. When they have fulfilled their term, there is no blame on you if they dispose of themselves in a just and reasonable manner, and God is well acquainted with what you do. There is no blame on you if you make an offer of betrothal or hold it in your hearts. God knows that you cherish them in your hearts, but do not make a secret contract with them except in terms honorable, nor resolve on the tie of marriage till the term prescribed is fulfilled. And know that God knoweth what is in your hearts, and take heed of Him, and know that God is oft forgiving, most forbearing. There is no blame on you if you divorce women before consummation or the fixation of their dower, but bestow on them a suitable gift, the wealthy according to his means, and the poor according to his means. A gift of a reasonable amount is due from those who wish to do the right thing. I'm just going to off the fan here. I just needed that a bit for breathing, but it's shaking the pages quite a lot. I apologize for that. So let's continue with that. A gift of a reasonable amount is due from those who wish to do the right thing. And if you divorce them before consummation, but after the fixation of a dower for them, then the half of the dower is due to them unless they remit it, or the man's half is remitted by him in whose hand is the marriage tie. And the remission of the man's half is the nearest to righteousness. And do not forget liberality between yourselves, for God sees well all that you do. Guard strictly your habit of prayers, especially the middle prayer, and stand before God in a devout frame of mind. If you fear an enemy, pray on foot or riding, as may be most convenient. But when you are in security, celebrate God's praises in the manner He has taught you, which you knew not before. 239 to 40. Whoso of you who die and leave widows should bequeath for their widows a year's maintenance and residence. But if they leave the residence, there is no blame on you for what they do within themselves, provided it is reasonable, and God is exalted in power, wise. For divorced women, maintenance shall be provided on a reasonable scale. This is the duty on the righteous. Thus does God make clear His signs to you in order that you may understand. That brings us to the end of part 17, and join me in the next episode where we will be starting with part number 18 of Surah Al-Baqarah, where we'll start a new section between verses 243 to 253. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.